Hello class and welcome to our final video lecture with regard to essay number 3. Couple things for everybody to keep in mind. For essay number 1, right, your issue, if you would, was the environment and your topic specifically, right, was eating choices, right? Vegetarianism and whether or not people should adopt a vegetarian diet. For essay number 2, right, your issue, I should say, was this, because the issue is essentially what everybody disagrees about, right? And not everybody agrees on how we should treat the environment. And what she was saying is that specifically the topic of vegetarianism can help with the issue of the environment. Our issue for number 2 that not everybody agrees about is identity, right? And our topic specifically was how our stereotypes having a negative effect on identity so that we can what? Understand and avoid them. Just like hopefully we can better understand how our diets and our diet choices can help the environment and avoid global warming. So again, you have the idea of the issue and then the topic. So for this essay, the the issue, right, is our privacy. Is our privacy being violated by what? The topic of surveillance. Anytime there's watching going on. So the question here is, does, right, all of this surveillance make our society safer? It's positive. Maybe it has negative effects, or is it a little bit of both? Right? So if you're going to say it's positive, it has a positive impact on our society, you would look at the benefits, give examples of the effects of surveillance that are positive on our society, the benefits. If you're going to say, no, 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 it's having a negative effect, well, then you'd give examples of those effects and focus on how it's violating our privacy, right? Because the point of surveillance logically is to protect us and keep us safe. But when it violates our rights and privacies, that's not what it was supposed to do. Or is it? Right? So, again, when you think about it, could it be an unintended consequence, an unforeseen consequence of all of this surveillance that it's violating our privacy? So, positives, benefits, negatives, how's it being abused? How are people hacking into things, reading things they shouldn't, watching things they shouldn't, listen to things they shouldn't? Or is it maybe, here's the Rogerian, a little bit of both, right? Could it be that some surveillance is violating our privacy, but the majority of it is keeping us safe? Again, you have a lot of options as far as how you want to focus on surveillance and the effects that it's having on our society. Are those effects positive? Okay, then focus on the benefits. Are they negative? Okay, focus on the abuses. Or is it maybe a little bit of both? In which case, you'd focus on the benefits and then the unintended consequences that led to negatives, or the unintended effects, the unforeseen consequences or effects. So here's an interesting example of that. The traffic light cameras at red lights. Initially, when they were put in, the point was to protect people at intersections so that there's less accidents and people don't run red lights. Because if they know a camera's watching them, that's the ultimate logos. If there's a videotape of you running a red light, it's going to be very difficult to argue against it. However, an unintended consequence is that people started jamming on their brakes when the light would be yellow and they'd normally go through because they were afraid that they'd get a red light ticket. Therefore, by jamming on their brakes, the car behind them didn't have enough time to stop, and it was actually causing, right, accidents that were unforeseen or unintended, right, by what was supposed to make our society better and safer. So keep these ideas in mind when you're thinking about the type of surveillance that you're going to focus on and what are the benefits, how is it being abused, or perhaps what are the unforeseen or unintended consequences. So hopefully you can submit a draft to me today or tomorrow. Ideally, make sure they're in by 8 a.m. Friday. So Friday is going to be the last day for me to give any sort of feedback on the essay, whether it's audio feedback or typed feedback. And then you'll all have until midnight to submit the essay because the semester technically ends this week. So hopefully everybody feels confident about this last essay. Make sure you follow all the MLA format guidelines. Put the author's last name and page or paragraph number in the parentheses. The period goes after it at the end of the sentence, so it's parentheses with the period outside. Make sure your works cited is hanging indent. Make sure you're commenting on your quotes and relating them to your essay topics and focus. You don't want to end a body paragraph with someone else's ideas. Always end with some of your ideas. And last but not least, make sure in your conclusion you repeat the point, you review your support, and you reflect on the big picture, how this affects life positively. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions on this essay. I'll be around to answer any feedback today, answer any questions and give any feedback today and tomorrow. But make sure you get this essay to me by 8 a.m. Friday so that I can give you feedback if need be, and we can go from there because the semester technically ends this week. So that being said, let me know if you have any questions and write with confidence on Essay 3.